Welcome to Great Neighborhood Cooks. I'm your host, Rob Kircher. Each week I'm going to be knocking on the doors of amazing cooks who live down the street or around the corner. Who knows, maybe from your own neighborhood. For the most part, they're unsung cooks known mainly to their family and friends, or they might be cooks from that great little hideaway restaurant that we love to discover. Either way, their relative obscurity is about to change as I bring them into the spotlight. So who will be the next discovered great neighborhood cook? Well, stay tuned to find out. I'm Rob Kircher, host and creator of the Great Neighborhood Cooks television show. And today, by popular demand, I'm going to be deboning a holiday turkey. Yes, deboning a holiday turkey. Now, I've got a beautiful one right here. This is about a 22-pound baby. Look at the size of this. Like, she's unbelievable. So what we're going to do is take all the bones out of this thing, and then when we get to that point, we're going to flatten it out, and then we have an amazing recipe for a stuffing that's made out of pork sausage and a number of other wonderful ingredients, and that's going to be included into this. Now, eventually, when we get to the bottom line here, this is going to be a flat piece of turkey, no bones, and then we're going to put the stuffing on top of it, roll it up, and then with butcher strings, we're going to go ahead and tie it up, and then put it into this wonderful roasting pan, and then put it in the oven, and it's going to be an amazing holiday turkey that when you slice into it, you're going to get light meat, you're going to get dark meat, and you're going to get stuffing. So stay with us. Okay, now the first thing you want to do is you want to cut off the wings, and you need to have a very sharp, in this case I've got a boning knife. In fact, I got 3 of them, but you want to make sure you have a sharp knife. It's just going to take a little bit of sharpness, if you will, to get this off. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the skin away, and then get to the point where you've got the joint, and I'm going to break it with my hands because it's a little easier. And then run your knife along that edge and cut it off. Like that. You put this, and you do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to cut this off, find that joint. There we go. And that goes into the soup bowl with the other one. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is turn the turkey upside down. Like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut along the carcass and carve the breast meat and all that away. Start again with a sharp knife, and you find your bone, and you're going to start cutting down. And the thing here is you don't want to cut into the skin of the turkey, because when you're going to wrap this thing at the end, you want to have a nice clean piece of flesh that is not torn or whatever. So I'm just going to go down here, and I'm going to cut along the edge here. Now you got to have some patience at this, because it takes a while to get to that point, but when it's done, it'll be well worth it. So you keep cutting away, and what you're doing is just separating the meat from the carcass. So you just got to have some patience and take your time, and you'll be very happy when this is done. Believe me, this is going to taste so delicious. I'm going to turn the turkey and attack it from this angle and break this bone off. There we go. So this separates it. As you can see, it's starting to take shape with a flat piece of meat here, which is what we're looking for. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it over and do exactly the same thing on the other side. Okay, I went ahead and cut the other side of the turkey exactly the same way, and now I'm left with just a carcass, and it's just a matter of cutting it off as I have here, and then this goes in our soup bowl. Now you're left with this. So it's a relatively flat turkey, except we still have the wing bones and we still have the leg bones. So we want to go ahead and cut those off. Now you're going to run into tendons here, and I'll show you how you get rid of those, but right now we want to just detach the bone from the meat and run a knife along the edge like I'm doing right now. Okay, so now you got the bone and you want to cut along and keep shaving it down until you hit that joint. Alright, so that goes in the soup bowl. Now you do the same thing with this side, but right now I'm going to cut the top of that leg bone out, and then the next thing I'm going to be doing is taking the tendons out. Okay, so now I got the rest of that leg bone out, and what you're left, and you can see this, is all these tendons. Now you want to take the tendons out because they're quite nasty and you don't want to be eating those and cooking those. So you take them out. It takes a little bit of time, but you just take one by one and you take these tendons out. Now, it may look like a little messy to you, but actually we're doing extremely well because we've been able to debone this whole side of the turkey. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side and attack the leg and attack the wing bones, and then we're going to end up with a flat piece of meat. So stay with me. Okay, I'm back and we're going to finish up the last part of deboning our holiday turkey. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to liberally salt and pepper the turkey, and I use pink Himalayan salt, and it's the only salt in the earth that has all 84 essential nutrients that our body craves. So you want to use this stuff. If you have iodized salt, throw it away. It's not good for you. Use pink Himalayan salt. And the other thing is pepper. You want to put fresh ground pepper on your entire turkey liberally, and then the next stage is you got to pound down the high points and the low points. The white meat is always thicker than the dark meat, so you use saran wrap or any kind of a wrap. You put it over, and then I call this a banger. You use your banger and you level it out so all the pieces are essentially at the same level. We have a family recipe that is absolutely fantastic. We've been using it forever, and it's a combination of pork sausage, there's onions in here, there's celery in here, there's sage in here, and Barbara also puts turkey stock in here, and then you end up with, and breadcrumbs. You got to have the breadcrumbs, and you end up with this wonderful, wonderful stuffing. First thing you want to do, and I'm going to use my hands, folks, is you want to spread the stuffing all over the top of the turkey, like I'm doing. This is what's going to add not only flavor, but every time you cut into this, you're going to get white meat, dark meat, and you're going to get stuffing. And it's absolutely delicious. There's no question about it. I do this every holiday, and I got to tell you something. Our guests rave about it, and they all want to know, well, how do you do that? So this is why I'm creating this video, so everybody can see how you can debone a holiday turkey and turn it into something that is absolutely unbelievable. So put a lot on here, because as we roll this up, you're going to make sure that you get the stuffing with every bite. Now, if you remember earlier, when I was deboning the turkey, I was very cautious not to cut into the actual outer skin of the turkey, because that's the outer part of the wrap, and it's important that you don't puncture it. And so take your time when you do that. Okay, so now that we've got that accomplished, I'm going to set the remainder of this stuffing aside. And people always love the extra stuffing, so it won't go to waste, that's for sure. Okay, and now is where you want to start to roll the turkey together. And so I'm taking this side and folding it over. And then you do the same thing on this side. You fold it over. I may actually have had a little too much stuffing here, but that's okay. Get to a point where it kind of looks like a big football. Okay. I'm going to turn this around so you can see what that looks like. Now the next thing to do is you've got to tie this up with butcher twine, butcher string, and make sure that it's secured well, because that's what's going to hold the thing together. So I've got some pre-cut over here. Look how beautiful that looks, huh? Okay, so now with your butcher twine, and my hands are wet from the stuffing, but you get the general idea here. So I keep going along, and until we get the entire turkey secured, and then we're going to put a long string on two ends, so it's not only secured across the width, but it's also secured across the length. Okay, so in the interest of time, I went ahead and I tied everything up, and then I cut the string with my scissors, and now it's ready to be put into the pan. So I've got my wonderful pan over here. I'm just going to flop it in here. So now we got time in the turkey pan, and now what you want to do is you want to put it in the oven for 450 degrees for about 20 minutes. And after that, you're going to knock it down to about 325. And then you're ready when the internal temperature is between 155 and 160. And then you're all set to go. So we're going to put this in the oven, and we're going to bring it back, and we're going to show you what it looks like as a finale to our deboning the holiday turkey. So stay with us. So here's Tom ready to go into the oven. Now the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be buttering it. We're going to be putting salt and pepper on it, and then we're going to put it in the oven for 450 degrees for about 20 minutes. And then because of the weight, this thing weighs about 19, 20 pounds after we took the carcass off and the wings and so on and so forth. So that's going to go in the oven for 325 for about 3.5 hours, something like that. And then we take it out and we let it rest. And we'll do the rest of that when we get to that point. But right now, let's butter it up. Let's put some salt and pepper on it, and let's get it in the oven. Okay, so you just want to liberally apply your butter, and it's going to make it look nice and brown and wonderful. Add another level of flavor to it, like so. Man, it's already looking fantastic. All right, and then next thing is I'm going to put some salt and pepper on it. And as you learned from the beginning part of this thing, you want to use pink Himalayan salt. So here we are, pink Himalayan salt. Sprinkle that on. And then some fresh ground black pepper. There we go. And Tom is ready to be put into the oven. Now here's a handy little gadget. It's called a digital thermometer, and I absolutely love it. What it does is it gives you an internal reading of the turkey while it's actually roasting. So what you do is you stick it in the probe into one of the thickest part of the turkey, and then you put this in the oven. It's got a magnet on the other side, so you can attach it to the side of the oven. And you're going to know when it gets to be the internal temperature of between 155 and 160. Okay, we're ready to put the turkey in the 450 oven. Slide it in, like so, and then you close it, and then using the magnet on the other side of the thermometer, you stick it to the side of the oven. Well, folks, it's right out of the oven, our Debone holiday turkey, and I'm going to tell you something, it looks fantastic, and I'm sure it's going to taste even better. And to help us celebrate our Thanksgiving and for Christmas is our daughter Jennifer and our two granddaughters that we absolutely love, Sophie and Georgia. So for all of us, we want to wish you guys a happy holiday.
Happy holidays!